What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on this motherfucking YouTube shit. Wow, what the fuck?
What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on YouTube shit. Hey man, we are Lit JT man, turn. Today, motherfucker, day. Show you outside, big crip in the gang, show you outside shit, man. Free Palestine, free Congo, Russia, your thing, and Texas, stand the fuck up. Any day is a new day to be a better version of yourself. Never let somebody bring you down, also back. Never let somebody tell you who you are, but also put yourself in a position you don't belong. Let's stay humble, be revolution on the movement, keep going first. Come to the black Hebrew Israelite as a real Jew. We out here. Alright, boom. Today, motherfucker, day. Show you outside, big crip in the gang, show you outside shit, man. Turn up, and a gang go, bruh. With this shit that's going on in the world, man, war on top of war. You never know when it could go down at any situation, any state, any country. Protect yourself at all costs and be ready to fight for what you believe in, gang, because during these times, man, we're gonna need some real motherfuckers to ride out and put the work in. So we got this dude, man. This happened in Dallas, Texas. Where I'm from, Texas anyway. And this dude who lived in Dallas, kind of close to anyway where they was at, came through and bow, shot up the ICE facility. Now, he was aiming for the ICE workers, but ended up hitting the detainees. But the whole reason for what he did was to go at ICE and what's going on in this world. So your boy got the video, man. Make sure y'all like it. Like I tell y'all niggas, man, subscribe. Like I tell y'all, this is revolution. And like I said, Joshua John, real one. And let's get into this bit.
In the deadly shooting yesterday at an ICE facility in Dallas, the FBI says the gunman left handwritten notes that provide clues. The Bureau says the gunman hated the federal government and wanted to terrorize and kill ICE agents. No agents were shot in the attack, but 3 immigrant detainees were. 1 died. The 2 others are in critical condition. Omar Villafranca is in Dallas once again tonight. Omar?
Investigators found a ladder they say the suspect used to get to the top of a building, and that's where they say that he used a legally purchased rifle and started shooting. And we're also learning chilling details on how he felt about ICE agents.
Jan specifically intended to kill ICE agents. He fired at transport vehicles carrying ICE personnel, federal agents, and detainees.
The FBI says 29-year-old Joshua Jan mapped out Wednesday morning's ambush on a Dallas ICE facility with a high degree of pre-attack planning, from internet searches of Dallas County DHS buildings to ballistics and apps that track the presence of ICE agents. Denise's Robleto was bringing her mother to a scheduled ICE appointment when she heard gunshots. Robleto says she didn't know if ICE agents were shooting or being shot at. Nancy Larson is the acting U.S. attorney for the Northern District of Texas.
He called the ICE employees people showing up to collect a dirty paycheck. He wrote that he intended to maximize lethality against ICE personnel and to maximize property damage at the facility.
Investigators say they uncovered a trove of new evidence from electronic devices found in a search of homes in Texas and Oklahoma associated with the suspect. The FBI says the clearest motivation can be found in Jan's own notes. FBI Special Agent in charge, Joseph Rothrock.
In his handwritten notes, he says, I want to cause terror. He wants to impact ICE agents and law enforcement across the country.
At the ICE facility in Dallas, immigrants coming to the building for scheduled ICE check-ins told CBS News they were told the building is closed and to come back Monday. Todd Lyons is acting director of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
We won't be stopped by it. We're going to do our law enforcement mission, right? We're going to ensure that we're out there taking these public safety threats off the street.
DHS officials say that during the shooting, ICE agents actually managed to move a few of the detainees who were constrained in that van out of harm's way. We were also pressing DHS officials on what they plan to do to secure facilities like the one behind me. They didn't want to go into detail, but they said the plans are being discussed.
Omar Villafranca in Dallas tonight. Thank you.
Hey, gang. All heroes don't wear capes. As I say, man, if they thought it was going to be sweet and then they were going to cause a war on the people and think people wasn't going to respond, is insane.
Director, ERO Operations, Dallas Field Office, Travis Pickard, Special Agent in charge of HSI Dallas, and Benny Mims, Special Agent in charge of ATF Dallas. At the back, I will be putting a sign-in sheet for all media, so please, before you leave, add your information so that we have that. And following the remarks, we will have a brief period for questions and answers. Please remember to identify yourself and your media affiliation when you ask a question. And with that, I'll turn it over to Acting U.S. Attorney Nancy Larson.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today. This is the third time in my short 4-month tenure as the acting United States Attorney for this district where we have suffered violent attacks and threats at ICE facilities. First, you'll recall July 4th, 2024, the violent attack on the Prairie Land facility in Alvarado, Texas. The second occurred on August 25th, 2024, when Bratton Dean Wilkinson, who stands charged by federal complaint, pretended to have a bomb. He showed up at the ICE facility with a backpack and something that looked like a detonator on his wrist and threatened the facility. Third, of course, is yesterday's attack, September 24th, 2025, when the Dallas ICE facility was riddled with gunfire, costing the life of one detainee and injuring 2 other detainees critically. Initially, I want to commend the cooperation of the Dallas Police Department, the Dallas County Sheriff's Office, the FBI, the ATF, ICE, and HSI for their swift and decisive response to this crime. Members of these agencies quickly secured the scene and the evidence and worked tirelessly to deter any continuing threat. Due to their efforts, it did not take long to ascertain the identity of the shooter, who was deceased by a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and that he very likely acted alone. His name is Joshua Yan, 29, of Fairview, Texas. Let me just review a very brief summary of the timeline of yesterday's attack. We believe at some point around 3 o'clock in the morning that the suspect was seen driving on footage with a large ladder on his car. And we believe that that is what he used to position himself on top of the building. The shooting itself started at approximately 6:30 a.m. After the shooting started, Dallas Police Department arrived en masse, secured the scene. Law enforcement officers found the sniper dead. They found bullets on the rooftop, one of which was labeled with the words anti-ICE.
You did.
That morning, gunshots sprayed the length of the building, the windows, and law enforcement vans that were in the Sallyport area.
Detainees
up.
were struck by these bullets. One was killed, 2 were wounded, and both of them are undergoing treatment. Shortly thereafter, the FBI began its meticulous work at the crime scene. At the same time, we obtained and executed multiple search warrants yesterday for devices and locations associated with the sniper. FBI agents executed a search warrant at the sniper's residence yesterday and there found a collection of notes. First, I want to point out that one of these notes or papers, the sniper explicitly states, "Yes, it was just me." That statement appears to be correct at this point in the investigation. Notably, these loose notes included a game plan of the attack and target areas at the facility. He called the ICE employees people showing up to collect a dirty paycheck. He wrote that he intended to maximize lethality against ICE personnel and to maximize property damage at the facility. He hoped to minimize any collateral damage or injury to the detainees and any other innocent people. It seems that he did not intend to kill the detainees or harm them. It's clear from these notes that he was targeting ICE agents and ICE personnel. The tragic irony for his evil plot here is that it was a detainee who was killed and 2 other detainees that were injured when he fired into the Sally Port. He also hoped his actions would give ICE agents real terror of being gunned down, and he did this to induce constant stress in their lives. He hoped his actions would terrorize ICE employees and interfere with their work, which he called human trafficking. And this, what he did, is the very definition of terrorism. Again, his notes reveal, yes, it was just me and my brain. And he said, good luck with the digital footprint. And of course, we take this to mean that he deleted evidence from his devices. His words were definitively anti-ICE. That said, we did not find evidence of membership in any specific group or entity, nor did he mention any specific government agency other than ICE. Among his papers, though, was a handwritten note in which, in crude words, he expressed his hatred for the federal government. Finally, I want to address the heroism of our federal agents yesterday. While under fire, ICE agents and ATF agents who were also present in the facility's Sally Port area worked together to remove detainees from the vans and get them to safety while the bullets were flying. These agents were heroic, clearly willing to lay down their lives to save the lives of the detainees in their custody. And that's an extremely important point to make at this point in time. I want to express my deepest appreciation for the bravery of these law enforcement officers yesterday and every single day that they go out there to keep us safe. I'll now turn it over to FBI Special Agent in charge of the Dallas field office, Joe Rothrock. Thank you.
Good afternoon. First, I'd like to start by thanking our acting United States Attorney, Nancy Larson, and her office for their support during this investigation. My name is Joe Rothrock, and I'm the Special Agent in charge of the FBI Dallas Field Office. Yesterday morning, Joshua Yan carried out a targeted, ambush-style attack on law enforcement. Today, I will provide you with some updates of what we've learned through our investigation to date, to include Yan's own words in his handwritten notes. Yan specifically intended to kill ICE agents. He fired at transport vehicles carrying ICE personnel, federal agents, and detainees. He also fired multiple shots into the windows of the office building where numerous ICE employees do their jobs every day. We now know that Yan engaged and significant high degree of pre-attack planning. He searched for information about the office building and how to track ICE agents' locations. Jan also acknowledged the potential for other casualties. He knew with a high likelihood ICE detainees would be transported that morning in the exact location where he was facing from his perch on a nearby rooftop. Jan's attack did in fact result in the tragic death of one detainee and the injury to two other detainees. We have been able to confirm that Jan legally obtained an 8mm bolt-action rifle he used in the shooting in August of this year. Based on our investigation to date, we believe Jan acted alone, but I'll stress our investigation continues. This attack, yet again, underscores the dangers that law enforcement face daily. We continue to see an increased threats against law enforcement. This is the second attack in recent months on ICE facilities here in North Texas. I do want to take this opportunity to thank our law enforcement partners, some of whom are here with us today. When Jan began firing, agents from both ICE and the ATF put themselves in the line of fire to move individuals off the transportation vehicles in an attempt to protect and rescue those that were injured. I want to thank them for their bravery. The Dallas Police Department and the Dallas County Sheriff's Office also quickly responded to the scene without any hesitation and ran towards danger. Ultimately, they located the shooter, who was deceased by an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. I want to thank them for their prompt response and dedication to protecting and serving their communities. I also want to thank our partners that have assisted in this investigation. The Fairview Police Department, as well as our partners in Oklahoma, to include Bryant County Sheriff's Department, Durant Police Department, and Choctaw Nation Light Horse Police, as well as our personnel from San Antonio and Oklahoma City within the FBI that assisted. The FBI has dedicated its entire breadth of resources to ensure this investigation is completed thoroughly. The FBI stands with our law enforcement partners, and today we express that the attacks against law enforcement officers will not be tolerated. While we believe Jan acted alone, we are still asking that anyone with information about Jan or his activities report that to the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI or at www.fbi.gov/Dallas ERO-shooting. And with that, I will turn it over to Director Charles.
FBI agents and shit, goofy asses.
Good afternoon. My name is Marcos Charles. I am the ICE Executive Associate Director for Enforcement and Removal Operations. The attack on ICE's Dallas field office yesterday was tragic. And while our hearts and prayers are with the family of the detainees who were shot, the evidence is clear that this was intended as an assault on ICE personnel who come to work every day to do their job. Violent rhetoric has led to over 1,000% increase in assaults on ICE officers, and it has to stop. In contrast to those who would demonize our men and women, yesterday our brave officers ran back into danger, along with ATF, our partners, to save the detainees while shots were still being fired. Those ICE officers just showed the world who they really are.
They ran.
Law enforcement officers who want the best for our country. That's ICE. Integrity, courage, excellence.
What they show?
They were willing to put their lives on the line to pull detainees out of the transport van
to get them to safety.
They are heroes, and I hope the media has the integrity to shine a light on this story.
Y'all going to deport them motherfuckers in
Enough is enough with the harmful lies and violent rhetoric.
Be either one.
It has to stop.
Real talk. The cartel and the ICE
shooter used the ICE tracking apps. Anyone who creates or distributes these apps that is designed to spot, track, and locate ICE officers are well aware of the dangers that they are exposing to law enforcement. It's a casting call to invite bad actors to attack law enforcement officers. It's no different than giving a hitman the location of their intended target, and this is exactly what we saw happen in Dallas yesterday.
This shit happened in Dallas.
The media has been amplifying these apps, even as we warned them it would only lead to more attacks on law enforcement. We truly wish we didn't have to say, "I told you so," but here we are.
He should have got more than motherfuckers.
ICE continues to prioritize the safety and security of our personnel, detained aliens, and facilities. We will do everything possible to increase security to counter the increased wave of these lethal attacks. People said I was wave of these lethal attacks. Again, we call on those
y'all train motherfucking military. Y'all train military people
to cease the
can't do a fucking
rhetoric.
job.
We also call on law-abiding Americans everywhere to report any suspicious activity.
Bitch, that's y'all whole job. Is the work.
The individual that was out there yesterday shooting at our agents and our officers
bitch, y'all don't even know what the fuck y'all
was trying to take the lives of law enforcement people doing their job. Instead, he killed killed a detainee and shot 2 others. That is something that's unacceptable. The rhetoric that's out there on social media, the rhetoric that is being said by some community leaders in other states needs to stop. There's been an increase in violence against ICE agents, not only in Texas and Dallas, but across the country in violent protests.
Cause people get tired of y'all goofy asses thinking y'all can, cause y'all part of life, y'all can run and do anything y'all fucking want to. Bitch, we don't even know y'all.
We're gonna open it up to questions now.
Yeah, like we owe y'all something. We don't even know y'all.
Sean Murphy with the Associated
It's not going like that.
Can you tell an estimate of how many shots were fired and how he was able to get those off so quickly with the bolt action?
Yeah, so I'll answer that at this point. Again, I'll just remind you, this is an ongoing investigation. The ICE facility, the ICE office, really, it is a business office. This is where business is done on a daily basis by our partners at ICE. That is still an active crime scene. We still have personnel out there. As I mentioned earlier in my remarks, we brought in resources from San Antonio, Oklahoma City, obviously our own FBI resources here in Dallas, as well as folks from our lab, because we are going to do a thorough and exhaustive investigation and make sure that we have a full accounting of all the evidence that's at that scene. Again, those efforts are ongoing at this time. I'm going to go here real quick.
Can you talk to us more about the
y'all see Trump I'm firing out that goddamn
so you're referring to detainees that were not injured? Yeah.
On the ones that are injured, identities, nationalities?
So I won't be providing any updates at this time on the identities of the detainees that were injured. ICE has a process from notifications to consulate and to next of kin. That process is ongoing until we'll defer to our ICE counterparts at some point to determine when it's the right time to release that information. The other detainees remain safe. They are victims as well of this violent crime, and they are people that we are actively interviewing as part of our investigation. Right here to the front.
It's kind of crazy. If them motherfuckers going to Mexico getting detained got killed. Oh, where are they going to? Guatemala? Venezuela, bitch? Haiti? If somebody died in this fucking America, bitch, you could.
The clearest motivation for this attack are his own words. In his handwritten notes, he says, I want to cause terror. He doesn't want to just impact the ICE agents and the law enforcement agents that were carrying out that mission yesterday. He wants to impact ICE agents and law enforcement across the country. Again, his words cause terror for those employees across the country.
They ain't going for these messages. They don't know what the fuck they got half time.
Any indication how long the suspect had been planning this attack?
Well, this is, again, as I referenced in my remarks, this is significant pre-planning months in advance. We know that he obtained the firearm in August. We also know that he was looking at a number of DHS facilities and he had downloaded that information. He was looking at the apps, as my counterpart mentioned, to see where ICE agents would be. So this was not something that just occurred yesterday. It came to a conclusion yesterday, but this is something months in the making.
Priscilla Thompson with NBC Network News. From what we have heard, this person was not particularly political. Is there anything that you all have found in terms
that
of
white today is a Democrat or some bullshit?
Unfortunately, the challenge with these mass casualty incidents is people can be motivated to violence by any number of grievances. In this case, the clearest indication of motivation are his own words. He wanted to cause terror. He wanted to harm ICE personnel.
Chaos.
The deceased shooter, did he ever relate to somebody who had been detained by ICE or mistreated by ICE for him to act this way?
Again, the clearest motivations at this point are the harm he wanted to cause to ICE. We're not aware of any specific relationships he had with anybody in detention. But again, our investigation's ongoing. We're going to unturn every stone here. And so that continues. Sir.
Omar B. Franco with CBS News. Secretary Noem has asked for increased security at ICE facilities across the country. Can you say what is going to be done to harden these facilities to protect agents and detainees?
So I cannot say what will be done by our partners at DHS to harden their facilities. What I can say, and I can draw upon just our recent experiences here in North Texas, is we've seen attacks now, 2 ambush-style attacks, where law enforcement was the target of individuals who did significant pre-planning and coordination to set up law enforcement, again, in an ambush-style attack.
Oh, yeah, last one. BTA, nigga, ain't nothing sweet out here. BTA. BTA. You thought they were going to people? BTA.
I would need to refer to my
go get
partner's
people?
advice on that.
BTA.
So currently,
BTA.
we're looking at
No,
hardening
sweet
some
around
of
this bitch.
our
BTA.
facilities. Also, I
BTA,
don't want to give away any operational
BTA.
security
For all
as to how we're going to be doing that.
From the government or not,
There are plans to harden some of our facilities. Back there.
Y'all gotta go to sleep. Y'all gotta have homes to sleep in and shit. Y'all gotta have kids and families. You know what I mean?
Mr. Yan was not an immigrant.
Think about that
He was a
shit.
United States citizen.
BTA,
He was here legally.
You're like, we got
I won't be going
y'all
into
got
details on anybody other than Mr. Yan at this time. Ma'am.
God can touch anybody. All right, gang, hold it down, man. God can touch anybody, no matter who you is.
Can you give us more perspective
It's a fact.
on what
I don't know why
the
ICE
situation was
agents think
with
that
the
they can just
detainees
go
that were
around
pinned to that?
messing
Were
with
they
black
handcuffed?
people and
Were they shackled?
Mexicans and
Why weren't
anybody,
they able
really.
to get out of the vehicle by themselves?
Again, these were individuals that were detained by law enforcement. There were multiple transport vehicles
And they got killed
at the
during this
facility at
situation. You know what I'm
that
saying?
time.
Like, shit, they ain't gonna get
Again,
killed
what
by
I would stress at this point is under gunfire,
cartel anyway.
multiple federal agents
Maybe. Who knows?
ran into that fire to remove these individuals
Cartel not
and to
playing,
attempt
bitch.
to render life-saving aid under the
Well,
most
to
dire
the ICE agents, they probably
circumstances.
should be happy. Shit. Get them out the country. There's more paperwork.
They were being, the individuals in the vans were being strained. It's a proper procedure for transport. The individuals that are brave men and women that went out there to go help and rescue were the ones that were injured and could not leave the van on their own.
Now we know that that's common, because we've seen obviously transports before. So we just.
So it wasn't the police officers. I don't think the ICE agent got shot.
The other individuals that were in the van were able to leave on their own. It was the ones that were injured were unable to exit the vehicle.
You think you...
Sir.
I think the only people got hit was the detainees. So the detainees were trying to help the people out. Of course, the ICE agent wasn't. The ICE agent probably used niggas as meat shields. Who's them niggas, not us.
Any family members expressed any signs that we knew that this was happening, or was this just all kept?
Back to you, sir.
As is common in these investigations of mass casualty incidents, we are going to interview everybody we can identify that might have information about the motivations or who might have information about the pre-planning or who may have assisted in this attack.
Hey,
I won't be outlining every interview we conducted today, but we will be doing a thorough investigation. And again, one of the reasons we ask for additional information for the public is if there are those out there that had contact with Yan, we would like to hear from them, and we would like to gain an understanding of what their relationship was.
Imagine my dumb ass getting detained.
About other aspects of the investigation.
I just started hearing. Nigga, I was like, bitch, I'm just getting detained. Nigga, what the fuck going on?
Go into it all.
Nigga, what's going on? Why be here now? They already got me, nigga. Why I'm getting shot?
So, again, the totality of our investigation includes interviews, canvassing areas, collecting surveillance video. We're certainly looking at his digital footprint online as well as digital devices. I'm not going to outline the details from every one of those. Again, his own words called out that he committed this act alone, and all the evidence we have to date would indicate that that's accurate.
They ain't got to get a leg off, shot in the fucking arm, and deported. It's insane, bitch.
Talk about what will happen in the coming days with that facility. Are there detainees being held there? Have they all been taken away? Is it operational as an office?
It is going to remain an active crime scene for some time. Again, we will be there as long as it takes to make sure that we've captured every piece of physical evidence.
I'm a review of the Dallas Observer. You mentioned the one bullet that was found with ideological writing on it. Have any of the bullets found around the scene have any writing on them, or is it just the one?
Again, active crime scene. We're still collecting physical evidence.
Jim Schultz with ABC News. Around the crime scene, when this car was actually being towed, there was some writings on that vehicle. Can you give us a sense about what those were and how they play into your investigation.
So the vehicle was searched as part of our investigation. I don't have additional details to share with you now about any writings, but certainly if we have updates, we'll provide those in the future. Ma'am.
Ashley Pillow with CNN. Y'all mentioned that he used a ladder to position himself.
That man was a handy-mandy, bitch. Shit, I'm finna put some real work in, bitch.
He was found on top of a neighboring roof. We believe he used the ladder to access that roof. Sir.
Fox News Channel. Was suicide part of his plan all along, or was he reported by law enforcement?
His handwritten notes indicate that he did not expect to survive this event. Sir.
Kevin Reese, WFAA. A personal question, if you would dare. Can you explain to people in this climate what it's like to be an ICE agent right now?
Bitch, y'all doing it to yourselves, bitch ass motherfuckers.
The ICE officers that are out there right now, you've seen them in multiple times on the news. They're out there doing their job with courage and honor.
Goofy shit.
Yes, there is a heightened sense of security for everybody, not only at work, but for their families, for their loved ones. Mainly because of the doxing that's going on and the violent rhetoric that people have been perpetrating.
Mr. Charles, while you're up there, can I just follow up to that question and ask, of the agents that did respond on that day, or yesterday morning, can you tell us what they were wearing at the time? Because I know sometimes ICE agents do and don't have bulletproof gear on. Can you give us an idea of how they responded, what they had on them at the time?
So they're wearing their normal gear. And it was not only ICE agents, it was ATF agents also that went out there and heroically came out and under fire went to rescue those individuals.
Have you spoken to them?
I have spoken to one of them so far, but I haven't spoken to them. They're doing okay.
All right, Debbie, one more question.
The mad bitch. Well, this butt is long as fuck, Paul, bitch. Put that on the fucking horse, nigga. Clap, nigga. Fried horse for everybody, bitch. I want to eat fried horse chops, nigga.
The individuals that were in the van will be going through due process, and they'll go through the whole immigration proceeding. So I'm not going to go into what their status is currently.
Other countries, bitch.
Those who were injured.
Same thing.
All right, folks. We have time for one more question.
When?
Tell us where the papers were
found. That ain't monkey brain, bitch. Ain't monkey brain and ain't monkey horse heart.
So again, I'm not going to detail every aspect of the case. We did search his residence, and that is where we found the handwritten notes. And that's all the time we have for questions today.
I got enough balls by myself, bitch. I ain't finna eat no balls, bitch. What are you talking about, nigga? Just gonna talk about what's going on, man.
Targeted violence. That's how the FBI is describing this morning's shooting at an ICE facility in Dallas. One ICE detainee was killed. 2 others were hurt. And tonight, we're working to get answers to some big questions.
Including who the victims are. The Mexican consulate now says one of the wounded is a Mexican national. We're getting new reaction from political leaders and immigration lawyers and learning how the suspect was able to take aim at the building.
We do know the suspect, 29-year-old Joshua John, died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Now we're learning more about who he was. We have team coverage for you tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Cynthia Seguirre.
Senior private justice reporter Rebecca Lopez helped break this story more than 15 hours ago. And our senior political reporter Jason Whiteley is here to give us a lot more insight and context.
And we also have a team of reporters digging into every detail about what happened today, from the suspect's history to the impacts this has had on the immigrant community, particularly the people we spoke with at the scene.
Let's start where it all unfolded around 6:40 a.m. Kevin Reese is live outside the facility along 35 near Mockingbird Lane. The suspect fired from a nearby rooftop, but Kevin, there's still a lot to learn.
There is a lot to learn, but there are a lot of things that we do know tonight, including this location, the location of the sniper's nest, this 3-story building behind me, an immigration attorney's office. He was on the rooftop, giving him an unobstructed view of his targets. Early Wednesday afternoon, the FBI removed evidence from the roof of an immigration attorney's office where they found the shooter dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Google Earth gives us the early morning vantage point he had from the roof of the 3-story building. He had a clear line of sight, estimated at 500 feet, nearly 2 football fields, to the back of the ICE building.
Just be advised, it's still active shooter. There's a sniper on the roof. Have everybody stay for very, very hard locations.
Video from 8TV shows where the bullets hit. Investigators taking pictures of the back of a transport van on the southwest side of the ICE building. Photos obtained by WFAA also show bullet holes inside the ICE building in a framed picture of the American flag.
He would shoot, he would wait 10 seconds, maybe 15 seconds, he would shoot.
The FBI says the bullets hit a transport van with ICE detainees inside, killing one and critically injuring 2 more.
He was targeting people. He wasn't just randomly shooting, he was actually targeting his targets and making sure he was getting hits.
Early evidence that we've seen from rounds that were found near the suspected shooter contain messages that are anti-ICE in nature.
In fact, the FBI released this photo showing the exact words anti-ICE scrawled on shell casings found on the roof. Despite that, no law enforcement personnel were hurt, but they are emphatic about bringing days like this to an end.
The takeaway from all of this is that the rhetoric has to stop. It's dangerous, and people are losing their lives.
In Dallas, I'm Kevin Reese.
And one of the big questions that still needs a definitive answer is why? We've learned more about the suspect in the past few hours, including Joshua John's history right here in North Texas.
Today, federal law enforcement swarmed 2 homes linked to the suspect's family, one in Durant, Oklahoma, and another in Fairview in Collin County. Here's Teresa Woodard.
A tactical team of federal agents rolled down a gravel road toward a secluded home on the outskirts of Durant, Oklahoma. 70 miles to the south in Fairview, Texas, the FBI spent hours moving in and out of a house on a quiet cul-de-sac. Both addresses associated with 29-year-old suspect Joshua John. This is an old mugshot from a 2015 marijuana arrest in Collin County.
They've been great neighbors.
This family's Collin County neighbors told us they keep to themselves but are always cordial.
I've had lovely interactions with their family, so I'm so horrified to hear about all this.
We got a good
No
one
on this street knew much about Joshua John, and while the FBI director called what happened a politically motivated attack, one of John's childhood friends described him to ABC as, quote, the least political out of all the people I knew in high school.
Damn.
John's friends said he was a gamer, mainly interested in internet culture. His profile pic had been a meme of a man with a Soviet flag. It's not a political thing, a friend told ABC. It's just being on the computer too much. Those friends said they hadn't spoken with John in 10 years, but we've confirmed in the decade that passed, he briefly attended the University of Texas at Dallas and at times Collin College. Police say John died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
The FBI left this home in Fairview tonight with a trunkload of evidence, including at least one computer. In Fairview, I'm Teresa Woodard.
Unfortunately, today's shooting isn't the first threat against immigration facilities in Texas this year. On the 4th of July, suspects dressed in black military gear opened fire outside the Prairieland Detention Center in Alvarado. A police officer was shot in the neck. More than a dozen people have been arrested in connection with that attack. Just 3 days later, a man with a rifle opened fire on a border patrol center in McAllen.
Damn, bitch, all out war, nigga. 12, y'all better stop playing with niggas, bro.
It just last month,
y'all got a lot of 3 just because y'all was for the government.
Facility as today's shooting. A man arrived at the Dallas field office and claimed to have a bomb in his backpack with a detonator and was immediately taken into custody.
Earlier today, ABC News spoke with acting ICE Director Todd Lyons. He was asked what he wants people to understand following today's events.
War, nigga.
What I want is people to understand that the men and women of ICE are doing a law enforcement mission.
They're
supporting law enforcement officers just like everyone else. And these attacks and the rhetoric and the threats against ICE agents and the families needs to stop for all law enforcement. You know, in this operation in Dallas, it wasn't just ICE officers every day working out of there. We have the FBI, ATF, DEA, all of our other federal partners and local partners. So any attack on an ICE facility, you're not attacking ICE, you're attacking just brave men and women in law enforcement who wear the badge every day.
And this attack has sparked reaction from Democrats and Republicans, including the President of the United States. Here's part of what President Trump posted on social, quote, the brave men and women of ICE are just trying to do their jobs and remove the worst of the worst criminals out of our country, but they are facing an unprecedented increase in threats, violence, and attacks by deranged radical leftists. Now, we need to point out, investigators have yet to release a clear
just like the
motive
Palestine
here, and
bitch,
we
they
don't
were
know
just trying to
much
do their
about
job,
the
bitch.
detainees' backgrounds. The Democratic delegation from Texas released a statement of its own saying, quote, "We are horrified at the shooting that has taken place at the ICE processing facility in Dallas, and our prayers are with the victims and the first responders. We unequivocally condemn all forms of violence and urge everyone to refrain from rhetoric that fans the flames from all sides."
You know, this shooting comes exactly 2 weeks after conservative activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed, putting political violence in the spotlight. After Kirk's death, Quinnipiac University took a national poll on political violence. People were asked how serious of a problem they think it is. 71% of those who responded called it very serious. 22% said somewhat serious. Just 4% called it not so serious or not a problem at all.
So, Rebecca, you've been speaking with your sources all evening. Where does it stand in terms of the investigation and they're on the scene?
Well, if that crime scene is going to remain a crime scene throughout the night and possibly through tomorrow, it takes a long time to process something like this. You've got several federal agencies involved. You saw a little while ago a video of the Joint Terrorism Task Force. All of those people have a different role, and that just takes time. So it's going to be a little while before we can find out a little bit more information.
Who's in charge?
So the FBI is in charge right now. Initially, when it first happened, it was the Dallas Police Department. Their officers got to the scene. They actually transported people in their squad cars, the wounded, because they could not send Dallas Fire Rescue in immediately because it was an active shooter, and they thought there was obviously a sniper on the roof. So it was the Dallas Police Department. But once they got the scene under control,
that motherfucker who was shooting know how to shoot.
Typically, they don't release.
Man, they should have had that motherfucker Donald Trump shit.
The FBI said today, no more news conferences. We're going to
why do
answer
we get all the fucking bozo ass shooters when it's time to get the real action
Attorney's Office, the federal prosecutor's
office? The bozo shooters.
Two central themes
the good
here.
Shooters,
we have an answer. We got
like
to touch
Charlie
on it here a moment ago. Number one, what was the motive?
Goofies.
But even secondly, was this sniper targeting detainees or targeting ICE officials? And that's what we just don't know yet. It appears at this point, though, that federal prosecutors have gotten enough information from DPD, from what the FBI is collecting, from what's happening in D.C., likely scrubbing this guy's social accounts, to build a profile of him. The next question after that is, did he act alone? Is there somebody else that charges might be filed against in the coming days?
And, I'm a little surprised at how quickly the FBI director, Kash Patel, put out the picture of those bullet casings, because typically they don't release information like this until they have a full profile.
Recall
the Allen Mall shooting. They still have not given a motive for that shooting and a profile of that suspect.
Yeah, and
we're still waiting.
This was clearly a planned event of political violence here. How did this individual get into an office building in the middle of the night? Had he stayed in there overnight? Did he go in early in the morning? Does he know somebody who might have an office in there? And then secondly, how long had he planned this? Again, more central questions.
I hope they don't find out, because more people
the federal prosecutors want to answer as well, because you don't just roll up and know when these detainee vans are moving around. This person clearly staked out this facility.
And on top of that, how did he gain access? Sure. And all of this comes at a time when many immigrants in North Texas are already on edge.
Adriana Dalba just spoke with an immigration attorney on what it means to lose all sense of safety.
As the first gunshots echoed, one after the next, in a transport van heading to this Dallas ICE facility. Denise Robledo says she heard more than 20 gunshots hid in her car. Her mom, Maida, was inside the ICE building for an appointment this morning. When I heard the first gunshots, I thought of her, and it's difficult, she says, to show up to an immigration proceeding and experience horror. The FBI is calling the shooting that left one detainee dead and 2 critical a targeted attack. It makes me emotional because we come to these appointments and never know what could happen. And after today,
they fear what could happen to them.
Chaim Vasquez is an immigration attorney familiar with this ICE facility and the law offices surrounding it.
With the current immigration conversation and the increase in the temperature and the rhetoric that we have seen, many of these immigration offices now become possible targets.
And that's what's at the heart of this. If a federal building is unsafe, then what is?
They shouldn't have to be afraid that they're going to be victims of violence.
on the left or the right. I think either one is wrong, and we need to condone violence and violent rhetoric.
This family says they were already navigating a system filled with uncertainty. She says it's something horrible because in that moment I wasn't thinking about my kids, I was thinking about my mom. Honestly, it's extremely difficult. And today's violence is a reminder of how vulnerable they feel. In Dallas, I'm Adriana D'Alba.
This investigation is just beginning.
You probably asked me, how the fuck did you get this? Hey, bro, these people be looking in this shit deep.
Breaking news, here he is, far left Antifa ICE terrorist, Joshua John, 29 years old, Fairview, Texas. He's the one that shot at the ICE facility in Dallas, Texas. He's been arrested before, multiple mug shots out on this guy. I want to share some information about who this shooter is, who his family is, his upbringing. Why did he do it? Check it out. All right, this is the public Facebook profile of Sharon John, who appears to be either the mother or the grandmother of the ICE shooter.
He looks like he be on some fuck shit.
Joshua John. And I say this because I'm going to show you some things here. Photographs. I'm going to scrolling down the profile here, and you can clearly look at this. Joshua on the right. And this was in 2009, and that is the shooter.
Damn.
That is the shooter when he was younger. This is in 2009. So it also appears. Look at this. There he is. There he is.
Devious ass motherfucker.
So she has photographs of the shooter on her.
Like I said, man, he on the people's side.
Profile here. I want to show you another one right here. Noah, Josh, and Kyoko John at Kenny's wedding reception.
Ghost hunters.
So it does appear that Noah here is the brother of this shooter right here. This is him, when he was younger here. So going back to Sharon here, Sharon John, who appears to be either the grandmother or mother of Joshua, who Joshua is 29 years old. Now, she is in her mid-60s, so she would be, 29, 39, 49, 59, almost like 35 to 40 years older than Joshua. So could be the mom, people... could be the mom, could be the grandmother. But one thing I find interesting about Sharon, who is sharing pictures, 2022, amen. 4th of July is canceled this year due to a shortage of independence. And then another thing she says here, Governor Abbott, you are so proud of that NRA rating, aren't you? And then in May of 2022, she goes, Governor Abbott, Senator Cornyn, and Senator Cruz, how does it make you feel that your action to open up gun laws is responsible for the killing of 21 more people? Do you secretly sit in front of a TV and smile a demented smile? You must be proud of all the money that sits in your bank accounts from gun lobby support. Was it worth it, Governor Abbott? How about you, senators? When you prioritize money over people, this is what you get. So, definitely against the NRA, and she's definitely against Abbott, Senator Cornyn, and Ted Cruz. So this could be the mother or grandmother of the shooter. Now, let's go here and just look at Johns, John, because there's others. And one that stands out here is, you see Kai, Andy, Kenneth, and Noah. Noah appears to be the brother of Joshua. But if you go to Andy here, who could be the father, possibly the father. Fairview, Texas, just like where Joshua is from. And if you go to photos here, it's interesting because he has a lot of photos up. Here you go, of Joshua. This is the shooter. Fishing. So Andy could be the dad. Here's another one. He says with Noah John, and you can clearly see the shooter here. And going on, here he is. So I'm assuming that Andy is his dad. This is the shooter right here, Joshua, younger years. But keep going, look. Looks like Joshua here was in the Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts. Here's another one, group picture. Here he is. Here's the shooter. Here he is. Here's the shooter. Here's the shooter right here. So family member puts him out there. Here he is. Here's the shooter. Here's the shooter. Military.
Got some experience.
So it's clear that these are family members, maybe dad, maybe grandfather, going back to the mom's page or a grandmother. Let me know what you think. Who is Joshua?
I feel like he was a person who felt like the government was.
All right, this is a post that the FBI Director Kash Patel put out on X. This morning, just before 7 a.m. local time, an individual fired multiple rounds at a Dallas, Texas ICE facility, killing one, wounding several others before taking his own life. FBI, DHS, ATF are on the ground with Dallas PD and state authorities. While the investigation is ongoing, an initial review of the evidence shows a motive behind this attack. See the photo below.
Nobody fuck with ICE.
One of the unspent shell casings recovered was engraved with the phrase anti-ICE. More updates will be forthcoming. These despicable, politically motivated attacks against law enforcement are not a one-off. We are only miles from Prairie Land, Texas, where just 2 months ago, an individual ambushed a separate ICE facility targeting their officers.
So this is in Texas.
It has to end, and the FBI and our partners will lead these investigative efforts to see to it that those who target our law enforcement are pursued and brought to the full extent of justice. Thankfully, no law enforcement personnel were injured. Please pray for the injured and deceased. Look at this. Here's the bullet. Clearly says anti-ICE. Anti-ICE. So a lot of these terrorists, like Luigi Mangione and Tyler Robinson, and now Joshua John, are putting, writing things on the bullets. It's kind of like a calling card. It's a new thing going on with these radical leftists. Anti-ICE. Whoa.
Real motherfucker, man. Crashed out for a good cause, man. I don't think he was trying to shoot the immigrants, man.
Joshua John.
But
as you saw his family,
you gotta do something.
He is a former Boy Scout. Pictures in front of military planes. Seems like he liked the great outdoors. Seems like his mom or grandma is far left, calling out the governor and the Republican senators from Texas about guns. Ironically, he's the one that used a gun to shoot at ICE agents. This was an attack on ICE. This wasn't an attack on the detainees.
Yeah, it wasn't an attack on the detainees. It was most definitely
traveled in his vehicle and climbed up some steps and went on the top of the roof right next to the ICE facility along I-35.
People got hit by accident
and shot at a vehicle, which he probably thought was filled with ICE agents.
Yeah,
or wanted
he probably
to
did.
specifically target law enforcement. The attack on law enforcement needs to stop. We're going to continue to share and understand who these people are. Now, no social media presence on this guy. He's been arrested. This is one of his mugshots.
They tapped us. But y'all
not serious charges, but there is actually 2 mugshots out on this guy.
Oh, he is?
Here's another one. Here's another mugshot out on this guy. Who is this guy? And he's smiling during his mugshot. Demonic.
We just see how these motherfuckers be killing these people, illegal immigrants,
prior, the assassination on Charlie
and black
Kirk,
people. That's demonic.
that shooter, Tyler
the government
Robinson,
is demonic.
wrote things on the bullet.
We done.
Wrote things on the bullet. Luigi Mangione case, write things on the bullets.
Luigi Mangione was a real one.
What's going on here?
Real motherfucker.
Is this the new,
Alright, we back. So I don't know what these motherfuckers be thinking that, like, I don't know if the ICE people, the government, secret agents, FBI, police workers, people in position of power to win, think that they untouchable. Nigga, you gotta go to sleep one day. You gotta go to sleep. You gotta go to your home. You gotta have kids, hopefully, family, hopefully. Nigga, it's not safe out trip. It's not safe for us black people, Hebrew Israelites. It's damn no show not safe for y'all motherfuckers. God, Yahweh can touch anybody. You know what I'm saying? And it don't matter who you are. If you put yourself in a position to go against what God has put up, or to cause chaos against a lot of God's people, stuff will happen. Like, the illegal immigrants could be Mexicans, Haitians, Chinese people. I think a lot of them, I think in these two instances, it was Mexican motherfuckers. But like I said, man, it's getting wild with these riots, because a lot of people getting shot up and beat up and taken to jail in this ICE raids. I'm telling y'all, this shit getting crazy. But this is just one of them. It got crazy. Hood, Northside, big crip in the game, that's our shit. Revolution, fight.
Hey, Dad, you know that when we link up, dog, this shit be legendary. Even though this is instrumental, you the engineer on it, so Kodak everywhere.